Procurement methods. We have welcome back once again. Today we shall cover procurement methods. So before we know not methods, sorry about that, procurement documents. Before we look at the different documents that we use in medicine procurement, there is need for us to know what a document is. A document is a piece of written, printed, or electronic matter that provides information or evidence, or that serves as an official record. So let us look at the different documents in the procurement process or medicine procurement process, and we have quite a number of them. We have what you call the purchase requisition form. This purchase requisition form is signed by the medical director for the case of the hospital. This is the list of items that are needed to be procured or considering the procedures, that is the vital, essential, and necessary. Remember, the first method or the first step in the medicine procurement is a review of the selected items, and then here we see that this requisition for the different items selected is signed by the medical director. A medical director is a person who is like heading a hospital. Okay, so in case of health center too, we find people, there is someone there that is, I think, a midwife or a comprehensive nurse for our country. I don't know about others. And then we have health center 3 headed by the medical clinic officer, health center 4 headed by medical director or medical officer. And then as we move on, we see there are different cadres that are heading those different facilities. So this is a form that has all the medicines we have selected, and those medicines we have selected, we have classified them as the vital, essential, and the necessary. Then we have what you call request for pro forma, request for quotation. This is a request by a buyer to a supplier to send in the details of particulars of each item, and this may include a quantity. This is the second document, by the way, guys. Quantity, quality, price, lot or batch number, expiry, time of delivery, and terms of payment. We have also another one, what we call a pro forma invoice. This is sent by the supplier to the buyer and include the details of particulars of each items, including quantity, quality, price, lot or batch number, expiry time of the delivery, and then the terms of payment. That is what we call a pro forma invoice. It is when now they send the price list, okay, when the price list has been sent, and this is what we can find. Oh, those are some of the things that we find there. We have what we call pro forma analysis as another document. This is based on the following. We analyze the price list based on the price of commodities, the quality of the commodities, because the supplier has sent it for us and has all these details: the quantity, the quality, the promptness, and then the past experience. Okay, another document we have local purchase order. This is the list of items actually ordered from particular suppliers. For example, joint medical stores for our country. Others may also have other departments. So local purchase order is done for emergency orders. Okay, so that is another document, a local purchase order, and it has different particulars in it. We have delivery note. This is a document that is sent by the supplier to the buyer, describing details of the list of items supplied by a particular supplier. This includes details of each item, quantity, batch, or lots, expiry, and then the date of supply. That is a delivery note. So let's look at the other documents. Here we have what you call a tax invoice. This is a demand note document sent by the supplier to the buyer, giving details of items supplied, like quantity, the price, and the time for payment. So a tax invoice, the demand note that is sent demanding for the tax money, okay, the money for the taxes of the items that were supplied. Goods received note, this is the document that is generated by the buyer showing actual items required from suppliers in good state. Discrepancy form, this is a document sent by the buyer to the supplier notifying the party of the certain particular reasons. For example, we have wrong items supplied, goods is defectives, goods defectives, and then damages, expiry or short expiry. These are some of the things that or defects that we can have after we have received the goods. So whatever damage that happened, we record it. Whatever wrong items that were supplied, we also put them in the discrepancy form. Whatever damages that we get, we also put them in the discrepancy form. And then in case we have expiries and short expiries, we also put them here in the discrepancy form. We have credit note. This is the document sent by the supplier notifying a buyer of the set amount due previously. This comes in as a result of a goods returned note. So we see that in case we have returned any items, we are going to look at what are some of the conditions or states that will lead to return of the product. So in case of us returning the product, those we signed in a discrepancy form, we shall have to return them back to the supplier. So a credit note becomes that document that a supplier sends notifying the buyer of the sent amount due previously, like reminding us of the money we need to pay. That is what a credit note is. A packing list, this is more like a delivery note, but it is ununique in the sense that it indicates which item is in specific box and how many in that box. So a packing list gives us a view of what is where and how much of it is where, so that when we are checking it in our quarantine area, we are going to look at the different methods of receiving. When we are checking for it, we are able to know what we are checking for. We have the receipt. This is a document that the supplier sent to the buyer acknowledging the received payment for goods and services supplied. The goods and services supplied, that is what we call a receipt. Order status report, the possession of an order with respect to the specific tasks that must be performed for the order to be delivered to the buyer. That is, purchase order status report provides a summary of the purchase order and the status of each line item, including invoice activity and then the remaining amount and quantity. Debit notes is a document used by the supplier to inform the buyer of the current debt or debit obligations, or a document credited by a buyer when returning goods received on credit. It can provide information regarding an upcoming invoice or may serve as a reminder for funds currently due. Delivery, transportation of pharmaceuticals and related supplies, either by subject facility by the supplier or by an outsourced transport service. The type, the volume, the frequency, the duration, the transport service required, example, are determined by the nature of the health facility. So that is a delivery. So in summary, what are the major documents we use? We have tax invoice, we have goods received note, delivery note, local purchase order analysis, pro forma invoice, and then purchase requisition forms. Okay, so those are the documents that we use in procurement, and that brings us to the end of the different methods that we use in procurement. Thank you for your time. Thank you for lending me your ears. I want to thank you and I wish you a blessed day. Don't forget to put in the comment where you're watching us from so that we can send you a special greeting. Thank you. Stay blessed.